Ahoy gamers, Flor Geneva here. A while back I found this video. And thought that was pretty funny. And thus began my slow descent into madness as I first got addicted to the meme, watching it every day, and then I was like, oh hey, the Teen Titans theme song is kinda lit, I should give it a listen, and then I got addicted to it too, listening to it every day, and then I was like, what if I give the show a try, and yeah, you can guess how that ended. So I watched the entirety of Teen Titans, and I'm here to tell you why you should too. Or at least consider watching it too, because I can't tell you what to do. I'm not an H-Boomer guy, I lack the ability to tell people what they should like or not. So I'm just gonna try my best to explain why I like the show, and y'all will just nod in agreement. Okay, good. Now, I'm not gonna be spoiling the show because I think you gotta experience it for yourself. I already knew most of the things that were gonna happen simply because of all the other DC media and trivia I've consumed over the course of my life, and I still got emotional at times. I cried more times watching Teen Titans than I have watching I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which, if you're an edgy Tumblr girl, should mean a lot to you. But in short, Teen Titans are a group of young heroes that fight crime and stop villains, shit like that. Their big nemesis lad is Deathstroke, whose primarily tactic is grooming children, for the lack of a better word. He's also referred to as Slade in the show because Death isn't family friendly. That aged about as well as you'd think. There are two things about the show that stand out, and they are animation and writing. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm older and have higher standards, or because I was watching the show in 240p resolution, but the animation quality felt a little cheap at first. Like, what the fuck is this? Either I'm snorting cocaine, or this was made in MS Paint, and the worst part is that it's not quite clear which one it is. For example, during early seasons, there were these 2D silhouette sections that sometimes popped up from time to time that were clearly made to save money, and over the course of the show, they begin to occur rarer and rarer, so I guess my budget theory checks out. Regardless, it is not the tools or budget that matters, it's what they do with it. Because no matter what season you look at, be it the one where it looks like Homestuck or the later episodes, the actual animation itself, the movement, the expressions, etc. are all fantastic. Almost every shot feels interesting in a way and probably had some thought put into it. Not to mention that the show clearly has a big anime influence, with the characters suddenly becoming chibi and defying the laws of physics for comedic effect and stuff like that. In one episode, Starfire and Raven switch bodies, and the way their eyes and movement is drawn clearly shows who's who, which is just, oh god, I love this. It's all very neat, and mixed with the more traditional Western art style reminds me of those current meme animations people make. Teen Titans Goad? So Newgrounds could run. I'm telling you, so many people who grew up watching the show ended up becoming major weebs, which in turn inspired this generation of indie animations, so it must have played a role at least a bit. The writing stood out to me not because of the plot or anything like that. No, in fact it's pretty simple because, you know, children. It's the way those stories and characters are written that I consider quite remarkable. Be careful not to overdose because this show has lethal amounts of wordplay. Every word that comes out of the character's mouth is badass and quirky, like when you think of a good comeback way after the argument is over, except you say it on the spot. And it doesn't feel unnatural either, which makes viewing the show very satisfying. And the characters themselves make it even better. Robin is brave and heroic, but also stubborn and hot-headed. He's very determined and never afraid to do what it takes to save the day. It's clear why he's the leader of the team since he has strong leadership skills, but he's never a bitch about it. He feels like everything is always his responsibility and fault, but instead of venting about it all the time, he just does what he thinks his job is, and I respect that. Starfire is overly joyous and naive, and since she's an alien, her lack of understanding of human culture makes her the subject of mockery, which often makes me hate the other characters. Like, cut her some slack, Jesus fucking Christ. They're calling her weird for putting ice cream on pizza, but that guy is a monkey, and that guys have an ATM machine, so it's not the weirdest thing here, you know? Raven is a fan favorite for many due to her godly thighs and mysterious edgy goth-like persona. However, in all honesty, she isn't all that different from your average wannabe dark teenage girl, except that she's like an actual demon though, that changes things a little, I think. She still 100% listens to The Kill in parentheses Bury Me by 30 Seconds to Mars. You can't convince me otherwise. In fact, one of the only things that Titans show got right was making her look like a Billie Eilish fan. Beast Boy is an incel and probably a Redditor, and I also found it a little unfair that they call him Beast Boy. I mean, I get it, it's their thing, they call each other by their nicknames, but Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, Raven, those names sound badass. Beast Boy just sounded kind of derogatory to me. Well, that is until I found out his real name is Garfield, then it became very reasonable. Cyborg is black. Together, this cast of characters comes together to create beautiful chemistry. No, seriously, just watching these guys interact with each other fills me with joy as they're simple yet oddly specific enough to feel like real people personalities collide with each other in different ways. There's not a whole lot of character growth happening in the show, but they do learn from each other and become better friends, and if you pay close attention, you can see characters spend more time with each other following the episode where they resolved an argument or something. Again, this show has a lot of attention to detail and I respect that. There aren't a lot of filler episodes because the show's like 60 episodes long, but only about a third of the episodes are actually strictly related to the plot. I wouldn't call this a bad thing though, since the majority of the rest of the show is focused on fleshing out the characters and the spectacular animation is still there, so it's just more of what makes the show great. I honestly didn't find it distracting at all. There are a few episodes, however, that serve absolutely no purpose and exhausted me both emotionally and physically. Like that one episode where they face a British guy who's a giant reference to a bunch of things nobody gives a shit about and constantly complains about how naughty they are and need to be taught a lesson. This episode served absolutely no purpose and going through it felt like hell. Luckily, there are only a couple of episodes like that, and the majority of the show is great because whether the story is moving or not, the core of what makes it amazing is still there. The show lasted for 5 seasons, as well as the TV movie, which serves as a canon ending for the show. The movie is fine, I guess. It didn't leave me as satisfied as the show character writing-wise, but as an ending to the show as a whole, I'd say it's pretty great. There are rumors that a 6th season might be coming, and I would say it's unlikely considering how long it's been, but the recent popularity of nostalgia pandering shows that the less likely it is for a show to be revived, the more likely it is to happen, so I guess we'll just have to wait. So, in conclusion, Teen Titans is a show with incredibly expressive and detailed animation, as well as a great cast of characters and the chemistry between them. It serves to be put on a pedestal as an example of a truly great show that, while being primarily targeted towards kids, can be enjoyed by people of all ages. Which makes it even weirder how we went from this to this.
Picture my booty up in 3D. I'll shake my booty in my own movie.